Hello and welcome to CyberOne Training and Certification. If you're here for training today but you're interested in learning more about our certification program, you can reach out to your account manager or, as always, contact us at support@cb1security.com. So today we're in the policy management module, and we're going to be now showing you how to build out your compliance workflow and connect it through to your policy and governance structure. So let's get into the management platform and begin our training today. And here we are again back in the management platform. And as always, we're selecting our module here with the drop-down menu. And we're going to be in policy management. And from our policies tab, I'm going to open one of our policies. Now, of course, you can do this at any time. You can do this with a published policy and begin to connect your internal controls once you've published your policy, or you can do this while the record is still open and being created. And we're going to show you a couple of really great ways to begin to build out your compliance workflow. So first, you'll note that all of our policy records have this internal controls field where you can attach your internal controls or view any internal controls that have already been attached. And so then let's start with the first process of doing this. The first way we can do this is actually then from, of course, the record itself. And one of the things that we see happening more and more with our clients is that they're using their policy statements from their policy documents and turning them into internal controls. So the very simple way of doing this is to just cut and paste. So we can, we'll copy this first policy statement, and then we go up to our internal control field here, link, and then we just click new internal control. And there we can put in the control description. We recommend that you start by doing the paste into the control description, and then creating the control name based upon the control description. So the reason we say that is because, as you can see, we've got quite a number of characters here, and the control name is limited to 80 characters. So we can only put 80 characters in this control name, and of course we want to frame it as an internal control. So we want to put something like, maybe we take this first part, and then we'll change that to a shall be documented, something that gives us that more of the internal control. And then we can simply click save, or we can populate some of these other areas here as well. So note we can add the control frequency if we want to, so how often we're going to be testing for this. We can add the category. So in this case, I think it's information security. We can add a risk register. And that will highlight any policy, that will register any findings that are created from policy gaps later on in our risk register. And note that the policy here is already automatically connected because we came from the policy record to do this. So then we just want to add our content source. Something that provides us with a reference point to find this in our internal controls tab. And now we can just click save, or if we want to add multiples, we can click save and new. And there you'll see the policy record continues to be logged, and we can go back and by simply opening the policies tab and going back into our record and grabbing the next internal control, and so on and so forth. So let's just do this second one really fast. Maybe something like this. And note the great thing about CyberOne is it has a memory. So I just put this in and it remembers recent additions. So now I just did 01, my first control. So now I'm just going to change that to 02, and my content source stays the same. I add my category again. Again, now you'll see information security at the top as it was the most recent one. I can do the control frequency and so on and so forth, and then just click save. That actually takes me into the internal control record, as you can see, that I've just created. But to go back to the policy document, I just go to the policy field and I click the policy document. And now you can see that I've added 2 internal controls. So that's how you build out from the policy record itself. Now, another really fast way of doing this is to actually just go to the internal controls tab here. And then what we can do is you'll see that we have in our list view the policy, and this one isn't connected to any policies yet. These internal controls are not connected to any policies yet. So I can just select the ones that I want to. Again, I'm not doing this by the actual internal controls that should be connected to an SDLC. I'm just doing this by example. I can grab them individually, or I can grab a group by holding down the Shift key and just checking the box. And then what I can do is you see there's a pencil here that appears as I hover over the policy section. I can just click into that. And now you see it gives me the opportunity to select all of the records that I've just highlighted by clicking all 6 selected records. And now I can look at my policy. And again, because CyberOne has that memory capacity and I've been working from the SDLC policy, it would always come up first, and then I can just click SDLC and save. And let's just refresh that. You can see now that it's all these controls I selected are connected to the policy. And then if I refresh that, I can just go back to that policy record by clicking the policy link here in the list view. And now you see that all my internal controls have been mapped. That's a really handy way of mapping multiple controls as opposed to doing a one by one if you already have an established internal control set. So that's how you begin your compliance workflow through the governance approach of doing compliance. And that concludes our training for today. Thank you very much.